Zach, attack!
Hey!
Fist it.
Boom.
We're here in the Wildwood lair. Zach from Mythos Pedals. We're playing through a couple of savage weapons here. You say it.
Vipera.
Vipera yourself.
It's Latin for viper.
I like it. You know, and the viper is a powerful animal.
It's got a bite to it.
It's got some venom as well, if you're not careful, depending on the creature.
That's
it's
right.
teeming with potentially poisonous juices.
That's right.
But this is a benevolent poison that's being thrust forth from these speakers as a result of this contraption.
Very true. Very true.
Tell us what we got here.
So the Vipera is a channel switching overdrive. So what I mean is that there's two sides to it, but you can't use them together. So you can turn the pedal on, and you have side A, and you can switch to side B, and then back and forth. But the idea is that you take an amp you already like, and you have like your bass sound, and then you need something to kind of go one more, and then a little more after that, or, you know, just reshaping and then more, whatever.
Right.
Any combination thereof, but you switch between the two sides so you can set them up any way you like. Side A is kind of like a fat 808. It's not an 808,
right,
but it's kind of got that voicing with Mosfet Clipping, so it's real chewy. It has like a nice saturation, but it's really dynamic. And then side B is kind of got a wider voicing. It's got more treble, more bass, not as mid-forward, and a little cleaner headroom. It's not as much gain, really.
I can dig it.
But you can crank them both and get some gnarly tones, but they're I don't know, they're complementary, but they're not the same.
And so right now you've got a Lester going through a Tone King Imperial.
That's it.
That amp's about like 3-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't you just play for us what you got for the two tones?
Okay, well let's put stuff kind of noonish so you can kind of hear the difference.
Okay.
So side A, this is side A, bypass. So you kind of hear that mid-forward honkiness. And then side B with the same settings. So it's not losing all the mids.
Right. It just cuts a little bit more.
Yeah, it's got a little more present tone. But the idea is that you can take something like that side, turn the drive down, like maybe push the presence a little bit, the tone up, and have more of a boost. And then on side A, you could have it be kind of like a really thick lead tone. So if I go from that bypass tone, and back up. So you can kind of have stages.
Right.
And that's the idea, that you can have two different voicings that you can just throw on anything.
Which kind of works the same as if you had like cascading things, just that you set one to have a little bit more beef than the other one, and it's the same principle.
Or like a channel switching amp, it's the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
Because you can't combine channels on an amp.
Right, correct.
Not that maybe there's one that does that. I don't know of one.
It's called the Apocalypto 3000.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in writing. Let's get it going. Well, fantastic. That sounds magnifico. And this is a specific thing for the Wildwoods.
It's just for Wildwood guitars, and it's really like a fun pedal to play. At first, I thought, the channel switching thing, I don't know, but after I really spent some time with it, it kind of clicked, and everyone that I've talked to that's tried it kind of gets that too. They're like, I understand. And one of the disadvantages to playing stacking two pedals together, and John and I were talking about this, is how sometimes things get a little mushy.
Right.
Having a drive with a booster, that's one thing, but two drives together, the low end can fall apart.
Yeah.
And so this kind of remedies that problem. So you really, if you crank the gain, you have the gain of two pedals hitting each other.
Yeah.
But without all that, loss of definition, so to speak.
So we should say, I also was playing a Vipera on that opening jam that we did, and so I got to set it. Here's the amp without it. So that's kind of my intermediate, and then back to. Wow.
Perfect.
No animals were harmed during the making of this video. I want to make that clear. Doggone it.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have these Wildwood guitars, and
they're magnificent. Well done. And they have kind of a faux snakish exterior to them.
Yeah, the art I was trying to figure out, because I had this snaky name.
Yes.
And I thought, what do you put on a pedal with that, and I thought snakeskin. And initially it was going to be colored, but when it printed, it looked like a trapper keeper. It was really garish and horrible looking. But what we did is it's clear, like printing on it. And so you can just kind of see it in the light. But it's pretty neat. And I'm going to make it as long as people want to order them. It's limited in that capacity.
I can dig it. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for telling us about the Vipera. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Gregory Cockery here in the Wildwood Lair with Zach from Mythos Pedals. Stay tuned for more interesting content coming up.